We are midway through October and I wanted to give you a market update with the national average freight rates for the van, reefer, and the flatbed division. Let's start off with the van division. Currently we're sitting at $2.08 as a national average. You can see over the last 3 months it has gotten a little bit better. It could get even better, but we're happy to see these numbers, at least that it's trending in the right direction. At $2.08 per mile, you're pretty much hitting your break-even point. Now, what's the reason why we're seeing so many closures? So I don't know if you guys have seen, there was an article that was just published from Freight Waves. It's basically, bankruptcies of 2025. There are 4 or 5 different bankruptcies that are listed over there because this is the after effect of literally probably about 24 months of a downhill economy. So when the freight rates continue to go down like they did in July, in August, and September, when rates are so low, it usually takes some time until companies are bleeding out their cash, meaning that they don't have any cash reserves left, and they have no choice but to basically call it quits. But that's in the van division. And you can see here in the reefer division, it's pretty stable and really good. There's $2.48 per mile. And in the flatbed division, we currently are sitting at $2.53 per mile. Now, those are the national average freight rates. I do want to talk about the interest rates and their effect. So I don't know about you guys, but here in Canada, I see a lot of builders and developers, they're holding off on their projects, and I see a lot of that is happening also in the US. Just too much inventory is out there. So as the interest rates are going to drop, and we both need in Canada and in the US a few more decreases, but we'll see the interest rate dropping even more. And so that car payment, that mortgage payments, people will start having a little bit more money left over from their paychecks. Perfect example for me in my life, my mortgage went from 1.9% to about 4.5%, and it literally almost doubled up my payment, my mortgage payment, when it opened up. So that's what I'm dealing with on a personal level, and I'm sure that everybody else is dealing with the same thing when it comes to interest rates. The interest rates have gone up too much over the last 3 years, and now hopefully they're going to start coming back down. So another thing that we're starting to see is that the fuel prices are slowly starting to come down, which is a good sign for all of us in the trucking industry. So whoever's running those vans, reefers, flatbeds, I mean, the second biggest expense that we have as fleet owners, owner-operators, is our fuel consumption. For fleets, it's the second biggest expense after driver pay. And for owner-operators, that's their number one expense is the fuel. So if that's gonna come down, we will have a lot more money left over in our pockets. Now, the last thing I'm gonna touch on is the trade war with China. So I don't know if you guys have heard, the US has retaliated against China for their new policies on rare earth minerals. What does this mean for trucking? Well, actually, it might be a good thing for trucking because we are going to start producing, or maybe it's gonna teach us both in Canada and in the US to be less reliant and less dependent on China. So how is this trade war going to affect truck drivers and our industry out there? So first of all, we can probably expect a little bit more trucking to happen, not less. The second thing is your trade partners, whether it's Mexico or Canada, you'll be more dependent or more reliant on them, even though you don't want to. Of course, no country wants to be dependent on anybody. If they continue this pathway of a trade war, I think both Canada and Mexico are going to benefit from it. And I also think long term it will be better for the US to try to wing off the dependency of China. Well, there you have it, guys. We talked about the national average freight rates, we talked about the interest rates and the effect on our industry, and we also talked about the trade war with China. I'd love to hear some of your opinions out there. If you do have a comment or if I missed something, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.